Here we go. Last section. Look, it's just one page. Just one page. This is going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. So this is kind of putting together the stuff from last section, 8.5, and now we're going to get into solving. But before we can actually solve, we have to first combine by adding and subtracting or multiplying, dividing any fractions. Before we can do anything with this, we have to first take care of this. So my common denominator here would be x minus 3 and x plus 3. Both x, it doesn't really matter how I write it, and x minus 3. Okay, so for this one, since I already have the x minus 3, I'm going to have to multiply both the top and the bottom by x plus 3. So I'm going to distribute this x in, so that would give me x squared, this x to the 3, you can't see that, this x to the 3 would give me 3x. Now if I look at the second equation, I already have the x plus 3, so I'm going to multiply x minus 3 on both sides. So multiply the x here, I get x squared, x times 3 would be negative 3x. Again, on the bottom, I have that common denominator. I didn't do anything with what it's equal to, but I can factor that. Two numbers that multiply to get negative 9 add together to get 0 with positive 3, negative 3. Ooh, look at that. This is kind of nice. When this happens, when both sides of the equation have the same denominator, it makes your life a little easier. Just going to say it. So on this side, I have x squared plus x squared give me 2x squared. 3x plus a negative 3x would give me 0. I still have this x minus 3, x plus 3. So now, since these two are equal to each other, what I'm going to do is get rid of this division. I should focus on one side. I want to get rid of my division. So to get rid of this division right here, I'm going to multiply this side by x plus 3, x minus 3, and I'm going to multiply this side by x plus 3. Remember, anything you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side of the equation. Because these denominators are the same, once I do this, once I multiply by this right here, and these are the same, these all cancel each other out. So I'm actually just left with 2x squared is equal to 2. Now, since I'm solving, I have an x squared here. I first want to move over that 2. So I have 2x squared minus 2 would be equal to 0. And I'm going to factor, I can factor out a 2. X squared minus 1 now is equal to 0. I can actually also factor what numbers multiply to get negative 1, add to get 0 would be x plus 1, x minus 1. Again, you could FOIL that out if you didn't believe me. So now when I'm solving this, what number here makes it 0? So I can go x plus 1 equals 0, x minus 1 equals 0. I get x is equal to negative 1, x is equal to positive 1. Those are my two answers. I want you to pause the video and try to do this one. So first I'm finding my common denominator. I factored this. So what numbers multiply to get 2, add to get 3, x plus 2, x plus 1. So I'm not changing this first one, but the second one, since I still have this x plus 1 here, just so I have common denominators, I had to multiply it by x plus 1 on both top and bottom. So I distributed this x, that's where this 2x squared comes from. 2x times 1 is 2x. I did not do anything with this yet. So I want you to try to add them together and see what you get. So I add them together. Now I can actually try to start solving. Now this time, because there's more on this side, I'm going to get rid of this division. Remember, this is like divide by something. I'm going to get rid of this division. So if I want to get rid of this division, that means I'm going to multiply on this side by x plus 2 times x plus 1. And whatever I multiply on one side, I have to multiply on the other side. So these two on this side will simplify to be 1, so they cancel. So I'm just left with the 2x squared plus 3x minus 1. On this side, this cancels with this. So now I'm going to actually FOIL these two out because I'm multiplying them. X minus 1 times x squared, or x plus 2. So I have my first, outside, inside, last. Now what I'm going to do, because I'm solving, remember, I'm going to move everything over. So this actually 2x minus x would just give me a plus x. So I'm going to subtract this x. I'm going to use a different color. So I'm going to subtract this x squared, moving this over. I'm going to subtract this x, and I'm going to add this 2. So I'm left with 2x, not 2, I'm left with 1x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now I want to see if I can factor that. What two numbers multiply to get 1, add together to get 2, would be x plus 1, x plus 1. Since they're the same, when I solve these, I only need 1, x plus 1 equal to 0, and if I solve it, x is equal to negative 1. However, when I'm looking at this problem, this is where you have to be careful. If I look at my original, remember you have restrictions here. My restrictions would be at negative 2, negative 1, negative 1. There is no number here. You cannot have this because it's not in my domain. So I would have, so because this is my answer mathematically, but looking at it right away at the beginning, we can't have it equal negative 1 or negative 2. There's no solution to this problem. All of that beautiful work for no solution. Yep. I want you to try to do C by yourself. One thing that's nice about C is that it already has just a fraction equal fraction. So I want you to try to do it all by yourself. So I multiply each side by x plus 2. So these would cancel each other out, and these would cancel each other out, and set them equal to each other. And move this over, so I'm subtracting the x. I'm adding the 1. So now this is set equal to 0. I can factor this. Two numbers that multiply to get negative 2, add to get positive 1. So now I can set both of those equal to 0 and solve. However, again, when I look at my original, I have restrictions. X will not be able to be negative 2 here. So my one and only answer would be 1 because negative 2 is in my domain restrictions. I want you to try to do D by yourself. So my common denominator is x plus 1, x plus 4. So this equation I had to multiply by x plus 4 over x plus 4 to match. I distributed the x, got this. Here to multiply both the top and bottom by x plus 1. So I add them together, x squared, 4x plus 3x, 7x. And then I have my 3. I want to get rid of this division right here. So I'm multiplying both sides by x plus 1 and x plus 4. So those two would cancel out being 1 because those would be 1 over 1, so they cancel each other out. Same with this x plus 4 and x plus 4 here. So I'm left with this x squared plus 7x plus 3 is equal to, I have to FOIL those out. So I have first, outside, inside, last. Now I'm going to move everything over. So I can move over this x squared minus x squared. This right here together is going to give me 4x, so I'm going to subtract 4x. Here I would subtract my 3. So I'm left with those two cancel. 7x minus 4 is 3x. 3 minus 3 give me 0. Because I subtracted those over, I have 3x equals 0 divided by 3. 0 divided by any number is 0. 0, 0. My lucky number, 0. And there you have it, see? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Have a great, grand, wonderful day.